Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the GSL-English Podcast. My name is Gideon, and this is a podcast for all learners of English to practice and improve in a relaxed and natural way. And you will notice that we are most certainly not in the studio today. We are in Kent, in England, and I am going to take you to this castle here. So I wanted to mix up the podcast a little bit this week, and I've spoken for ages about doing episodes, showing you England, having a walk around, learning new things, whilst of course improving our English and practicing our listening skills. So today we're going to do it. We're actually going to do it. So what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to walk across this river. Well, we're not going to walk across the river. That's impossible. There's a bridge which you're going to see in a moment. We're going to walk across the bridge which goes over the river, and then we're going to head to this castle. We're going to have a walk around it, going to share some facts with you about the castle and share some new vocabulary as we go through. But mainly I just thought this might be a nice series for you get to see a little bit more of England. And of course, if you are listening on Spotify, I hope you do enjoy this still. I do appreciate our loyal listeners on Spotify. But if you get a chance, head over to YouTube and have a little watch. You might like it. So yeah, that's where we're going to go. If you do enjoy this vlogcast, we're going to call it, please let me know in the comments, give it a like, let me know your thoughts. If you've got any suggestions for improvements, I am all ears. And when we say that we're all ears, it basically means that I'm listening. You know, this is always a little bit weird for me. This is my first kind of vlog outside with people around, people walking around. So yeah, forgive me if I don't know, if I come across a little bit weird, but pushing the comfort zone, you know, which is something I'm always kind of telling you guys to do when it comes to your English. So that's what I'm trying to do today. Get outside of my comfort zone, push the boundaries a little bit, yeah, and see how this episode goes down. Right, let's get into it. But actually, no, before we get into it, as always, grab a cuppa, grab a glass of wine, get some food, whatever you want, pint of beer, sit back, relax, yeah, and enjoy this vlog with me. So where we are going to go today is that, get my finger there, that castle right there, which is called Rochester Castle. Now, we're probably about 30 minutes from London, I would say. Yeah, we're probably about 30 minutes from London from here by train, which you can get quite easily. So if you're driving to the centre of London, it'll probably take you maybe like 45 minutes to an hour. So it's not too far. And this river here is called the River Medway because we are in the council of Medway. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk across this bridge here, which is actually a really cool bridge. And I know that sounds hideously boring, but it's not as boring as you think. So if you're into your bridges, you're gonna love this. It's a good bridge. And so we're going to walk across that bridge, then we're going to go over there to the castle and have a little walk around. So just a little bit of a catch up as we do. Yeah, I hope you've had a good week, whatever you've been doing, wherever you are in the world. Here in England, we've had a nice bit of rain recently because, as many of you know, it's been absolutely roasting here in England, but we've had a good bit of rain. So the grass is looking greener, but today the weather is absolutely glorious. As you can tell, look, blue skies, nice shaped clouds. And if you watched last week's episode, they are perfect clouds to do nothing and look at. If you've got no idea what I'm talking about, go and check out last week's episode where we spoke about taking time just to do nothing every now and then. But yeah, so we've had some really lovely weather here. Good bit of rain recently, but we're in for a treat over the next couple of weeks because, yeah, it's just going to be sun, which is perfect timing for the school holiday. So here in England, all the children have broken up now for school. So they're on their 6 weeks holiday. So I don't know how busy it's going to be here as we do head over to the castle. I'm really not too sure. Hoping it's not going to be too busy, purely for the sake of discomfort of speaking and recording in public, because people do look at you weird. And to be honest, I would look a little bit odd at someone if they were doing what I'm doing right now. But yeah, so anyway, here we are at the bridge. Now, I do appreciate if you're watching on Spotify, this really might not be, sorry, if you're listening on Spotify, this might not be too interesting. So I do apologise. But let me know in the comments in Spotify. If you still do enjoy this, then I'll keep uploading them. If not, I'll try and prepare something a little bit different for you. But yeah, so we're going to go across this bridge now. As we go across, I think there are some statistics and facts on it. But the weird part for me is that the traffic is facing me. So there's always traffic on this bridge, but it's facing me. And that really makes me feel uncomfortable whilst recording and speaking. But let's just go for it. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, here we go. So as you can see here, we've got the River Medway, which we're crossing now. I'm going to give you some facts on that when we get over to the other side of the bridge, when we get to the castle. I did mean to look up some facts on this bridge, how old it is. But I'm pretty sure there's a plaque as we go past, as we go through. That'll give us a little bit more information. But as I said, it is a pretty cool bridge. So it does both. It's got the car traffic and also the train traffic over the other side. So that train line gets you straight to London, or you can go to the coast, to Dover, to Folkestone, or something like that. But yeah, it's a pretty well engineered bridge. Not that I know anything about engineering, but yeah, it's pretty good. As we get closer, you're starting to get a better view of the castle. As I said, this is called Rochester Castle in the county of Kent, which, as many of you know, is where I'm from. Born and raised, probably about 15 minutes from where I'm currently living at the moment. But it is a really cool castle here. And it's well known now because often in summer and at different times of the year, they do different festivals, they do different shows and things in the grounds. And it's nice, you get loads of families, you get fun fairs, you get all sorts of different things going on. So it's a really nice place to be. And I do encourage you, if you're kind of around London, you can get the train here so easily. So come and check it out. It is a pretty cool place just to see, and also the history behind it. So we've made it over to the castle entrance now. Castle Hill signpost here. Okay, so I remember this. I've been here before. Remember the steps? Yeah, loads of steps as we go up. But it's kind of a cool reveal to the castle. Yeah, ooh, a lot of steps. As always with these kind of vlog style episodes, if you hear me panting and breathing away, just assume that I'm just really unfit. So yeah, God, a lot of steps. But there you go. There's the castle. It's a pretty cool site there. Pretty cool vista as we go through. And from here, you get a great view of the Medway River and the bridge that we were just at, which should be around the corner. Just coming around in a moment. Where is it? Oh, there you go. There's the bridge that we just walked over. And it's pretty cool here because you can, on this particular river, you can have a boat, you can moor it up like these guys have done here. Actually, my parents used to have a friend that did that. They used to have a boat that they kept on this river. And it was really cool. You know, you just go out weekends, pool around, a little bit of fishing. You're kind of dictated by the tide and what it decides to do. But yeah, just a really nice thing to do at the weekends, and very beautifully kept. Got all these flowers, different things here. But one of the cool facts is the walls here. So I'm going to share some interesting kind of bits and bobs about this particular castle with you, just so we got an idea of where it came from, why it's here, and what it's seen throughout history. Got a cool cannon here, which I remember coming up here as a kid, and I was absolutely obsessed with that cannon. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But yeah, let's see what we learn about the river crossing here. So, what does it say? Oh, can't really read it. It's a little bit blurry. But according to Google, the River Medway, which is that river that we just walked over, has been vital for centuries. So it's been used throughout the years. It's seen trade, war, even a Dutch naval raid in 1667, where the Royal Navy was caught completely off guard. And when you're looking at rivers like that, it's kind of a strange thing, isn't it? To think that it looks so placid, it looks so calm now, but what it's been used for throughout history. And just ahead as we go across, of course, we've got Rochester Castle, which has over 900 years of history. So we're outside the castle now. This castle was first built in the 1080s by Bishop Gundulf, not Gandalf, Gundulf. Yeah, an interesting fact about that is that, of course, it was built by a bishop, not a king. Most castles, most keeps, of course, were built by kings and things like that. And interestingly, this Bishop Gundulf was the same guy who helped construct the Tower of London. So he was also involved in the construction of the Tower of London, which is probably one of the most famous sites in England, in London, probably one of the most popular sites in Europe. So this castle here is one of the tallest in England, about 113 feet high. And as we looked at earlier with the walls there, some of the walls are 12 feet thick, which is a staggering statistic, really, isn't it? When you think about it, 12 feet. So if I'm 6 foot tall, roughly, I'm about 6 foot tall. So it's basically two of me lying down, kind of feet to head. That's how thick some of the walls are here. So they weren't messing around, particularly with these perimeter walls that we're going to look at in a moment. And of course, the main purpose of all of that was defence. So all of these castles, everything was about defence, keeping people in, and of course, keeping people out. Now you notice that as we look at the tower, there's certain parts that they do look a little bit different. They don't look perhaps they look a little bit newer. That's because the tower was rebuilt after one of the most famous sieges in English history. And from the research that I did, in 1215, just months after the Magna Carta was signed, King John laid siege to this castle. The rebels inside held out for 2 months. So they held out during that siege for 2 months. And eventually the king's forces mined underneath this very tower and used pig's fat. Yes, actually the animal, pig's fat, as fuel to burn the supports and bring the whole thing crashing down. But even then, the defences didn't give up straight away. No, they kept on fighting. So that is kind of remarkable, isn't it? What they did to get here. So of course they couldn't break the defences with the ridiculously thick walls, so they basically dug underneath and then burnt the supports down with pig's fat. So what we're going to do now is just have a little walk around kind of the perimeter of the castle. But yeah, if you do come to England, I do encourage you, just have a little look around these sites, and not just kind of within London. In Kent, it is just such a beautiful place to visit. We call it the Garden of England for a reason, because there is just such beautiful places. I absolutely love this old door here. It's wicked. Look at that. I mean, what things has that door seen? Unbelievable, isn't it? So we're going to go around the perimeter of the castle now. And you kind of get the idea here, again, just these walls. There was no messing about. And when we say in English that there's no messing about, they weren't playing around. These walls were built for a reason, purely as to keep people out. And what's kind of cool, I don't know if it picks it up on camera, but can you see kind of the slots within the walls? Those little slots. They would shoot arrows out of them. So they were for archers. They would shoot arrows out, and of course it was much more difficult for them to get hit within the castle itself. And there you kind of just see a little bit of the cathedral, which we're going to go around to in a moment. Yeah, it's a strange thing doing things that get you out of your comfort zone. It's a strange thing, trying to push yourself, because I think it's so easy just to stay within the realms of what you already know. And you probably face that with your English, learning a language, or whatever you're doing, or many things, to be honest. But it's so easy to just stick to what you know because life's busy, life's hectic. We don't really have a lot of time, do we? So it's just easy to stay within the areas that we feel comfortable. And that's why I thought, I'll try this vlog today. I've kind of been putting them off for a while, just because, one, didn't know whether you'd really enjoy them. Two, where do I go? What would you be interested in? So I thought, let's just do it. Let's just give it a try. So as well as enjoying this vlog, as well as enjoying this episode, I hope you also just feel a little bit inspired just to push yourself a little bit more, push yourself out of your comfort zone. And also, like, when you look at, I don't know, but it's just me, but when you look at like the construction of a castle like this, it was built with a purpose, but also it shows what you can be capable of when you put your mind to it. I think that's true with language. Sometimes we kind of restrict ourselves within a certain parameter that we feel we can achieve. Actually, with a bit of hard work, a bit of effort, we can go further than we think, always. Yeah. So you've got the walls going around here, the turrets, and I think as we go around in a moment, we'll kind of get, I think, to the entrance of it. But it is incredible to see, isn't it? So there's the cathedral that we were talking about. And as we go through now, so we're going to kind of just go into a little bit of the town of Rochester. Got the pub there, Ye Arrow. Do a good carvery dinner in there. A good carvery and a pint. A carvery is like a dinner where you kind of go up and basically get your own roast. So generally they've got some chicken, lamb, beef, different things like that. You go up, you get your potatoes, get your Yorkshire puddings, your gravy, and all things like that. And it's just pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a good carvery in there. I've been there a couple of times with my family, like for large family dinners. One thing, if you come to England, you'll see these little parking signs everywhere and the Ringo. Assume wherever you park in England, wherever there is a parking space, you have to pay. Okay, and they will get you. So if you are visiting England anytime soon and you've got plans to drive here, just assume that if you're in a car park, you're going to have to pay. They are never free. I've been caught out so many times just hoping that perhaps didn't have to pay, but you did. And one thing I love, I guess it's when visiting any kind of town, any place in England, is just seeing all these cool little architectural aspects as you walk around towns and cities like this. I think that's the best way to discover places, isn't it? Rather than having like a fixed location in mind, a fixed route of all the things you have to and want to see. I think sometimes just exploring, just seeing what you stumble across is the better option. So you've got a good view of the cathedral there. Lots of school trips and European visitors come to visit the cathedral. But yeah, now we're just going to walk to the entrance of the castle. So you see we kind of walked around it and we're coming back round now. And yeah, nice little walk around here. Then you get another vista of the castle there from each way. So I think it gives us a little bit of information here on the castle. What does it say? This fascinating site can tell us a great deal about life, war and politics in the early Middle Ages. Much has, however, been lost. A series of panels around the site will help you imagine what has disappeared and make sense of what remains. We are standing by the site of the heavily fortified main gate of the castle. Outside it, leading towards the cathedral, was an arched causeway and drawbridge spanning the castle ditch, now partly filled in. A high outer wall joined the gate with towers you can still see behind you. Ahead is crossed the line of the modern road and led down to the river. So from this picture here, you get an idea. Oh no, that's how it looks today. Oh, I thought it was going to be a picture of how it should have looked. That's just how it looks today. There you go. We'll keep on walking around. God, my goodness, it is hot today. Very tempted to buy an ice cream. But there is a queue. And also the prices of ice cream here now. I remember like Mr. Whippy, which is like a 99er, so like ice cream and a flake, used to be 99p. But now it's like £3-4. Not spending that on a little bit of ice cream. Not happening. Yeah, cool houses as we walk around here. Oof, it is hot here in England. Can't complain because that's what we do as the English, isn't it? Really, we just complain about weather, no matter what. Too hot, too cold. It's what we do. I'd love to know in the comments if you visited England, where have you been? What parts of England did you visit? And if you haven't and you want to come to England, where would you like to visit? Where would you like to see? Also, give me some tips of places that you'd like me to visit and do more of these kind of style of vlogs. I'd like to take you to more random places rather than just, things that you're going to see, kind of the usual stuff. I'd rather take you to see some of the more unusual bits like this. So that's the idea. All right, let's head back down the copious amounts of steps. All right, so we're kind of down by the other side of the river now. Just thought I'd give you another little view of it. As I said, the tide comes in and out here, but I don't know about you, but I would love to have a boat on that river. I would really enjoy that. Just having something to kind of just sit on, have a beer, cup of tea, just relax. I think that'd be a really cool thing to have. I don't know what the prices are like, or the mooring costs, or anything like that. I don't know, just coming down here and just being able to, go out for a little spin in your boat. That'd be cool. So from here now, you get kind of a different view of the castle up there. That's pretty cool. And you get the idea of the real defence kind of style of it. So why it would have been so difficult to attack. Really get the idea. Just different times, wasn't it? Just unbelievable. I do like the way here as well. They keep up all this gardening. Many of you that will know that I'm into my lawn. My lawn is looking good. Had a good bit of rain recently. But we're currently under a hose pipe ban here in England, which is something that happens quite a lot. So basically, when there's like a long period of no rain, during summer, we always seem to go on a hose pipe ban. And that basically means that you can't use a hose pipe to water your plants, your flowers, your grass and things like that. Which I always find incredible because we get so much rain throughout the year. You think there would be enough just to make it last throughout summer. But no, 1 week of ridiculous sun, and what do we get? We get a hose pipe ban. But hey ho, it is what it is. And luckily we had some rain the last few days, which really did make up for it. And you'll also notice that this month I haven't done a natter episode. So as you know, generally most months I do an episode where I just natter, just give you a chance to practice your English listening skills, and we just have a catch up, talk to you about random things that are going on in the world. We put the world to rights together, don't we? But I haven't done those episodes in a while, just because at the moment they don't seem to be getting too much interest. And that was also true actually of last week's episode. So I do kind of follow what gets more views, what you guys are interested in. And I try to create more content like that. And I know you're kind of dictated by YouTube, you're dictated by the algorithm and what it wants to push out. But those natter episodes over the last few months haven't done as well at all. So I'm not going to be doing too many of those in the near future. Maybe that is just an algorithm thing, but I don't want to put content out that you guys aren't going to be interested in. I only want to create episodes that I think you're going to enjoy, that you're going to want to watch. So if you do have any suggestions of things that you would much rather me do, like this, if this is something that has interested you, if you are enjoying it, just let me know in the comments. That's why I haven't particularly done as many of those episodes. But if you do want them back, I shall create them. There you go. Got a bit tired walking around. Thought I'd have a little sit down just to conclude the video. And as soon as I sat down, some person over there decided to turn their music up in their car ridiculously loud. So I'm really hoping that doesn't create any problems. One, for audio, but two, for YouTube. Doing whatever they like to do on these videos when there's music. I don't know, I think they demonetize them or something like that. But yeah, just thought we'd have a little conclusion here. I hope you did enjoy this vlog. As I say, something a little bit different for me. It's something that I've not done too much of. And I've got a couple of other places in mind that I'd like to take you to, that I'd like to show you around. So if you did enjoy this, let me know and I will do more of them. I'll try and do maybe one a month or something and just take you around different places. But and anything to take away from this episode, particularly when it comes to your English, working on your vocabulary, your pronunciation, your grammar, just go for it. You know what I mean? If you're feeling like you're stuck in a rut, if you feel like you're just stuck within your bubble of English, find a way to push yourself. And what I mean by that is you've got to get out of it, because that you're not going to improve. You might be happy within your bubble, and that's fine. You know, well done for getting there. If you do want to advance, if you do want to improve, you need to get out of that bubble and find a way to push yourselves. And that might be private lessons, but that costs money. You might be joining a speaking group, but again, costs money. So what I would recommend is just finding opportunities to speak. Read in English out loud. Listen to something new. Or perhaps rather than passively listening to podcasts, passively watching YouTube, push yourself to actively listen to them. Perhaps think about taking notes, writing down new words, mix it up, change it up. And that's really how we improve. And it'll be interesting to see, for example, how this episode does. I mean, I'm not great at it. I'm by no means good at vlogging. I know that. It's not my forte. It's not my area of expertise. It's not what I do. But hopefully, the more I do it, I'll get better at it. And you kind of gain that new skill. You gain that new experience. And that is, I think, how it applies to English. You might try something new. You might try some new words, try some new expressions, and you're not great at using them, or you get it wrong, or it doesn't quite go right, or you make a mistake. But you're only going to get better by keeping on doing it. So I hope this kind of, as well as just looking around Rochester, looking around this castle, which was awesome, I did want to have that kind of takeaway from this episode. Just let's all just push ourselves a little bit more. And by doing that, okay, it's not always easy. We make mistakes, we mess up, but it's all right. You know what I mean? Not everything has to be perfect all the time. Not everything's always going to go to plan. Not everything's going to go right. That's all right. Don't worry about it. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up from time to time. But the more you do it, the better you get, and those mistakes become less catastrophic to us, and then you repeat the process. I hope that makes sense. And I really, really do hope you enjoyed just chilling out with me, having a walk around England. As I say, if you enjoyed this, I will make it a series. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening if you did make it all the way on Spotify. And if you did get to this point in the episode, write down castle in the comments. Castle, difficult word to pronounce, got that silent T in there. Write down the word castle in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. All right, have a good one, guys.